and welcome everybody to this session, the titled Supporting Executive Functioning Skills in College Courses with QM Standards. I really appreciate you attending, and I hope you will find this useful. Our objectives for this session, please take a minute and to read them. We're going to review and discuss design instructional strategies aligned with general QM standards. We will demonstrate few LMS features in Canvas and technology tools that can be used to support executive functioning. I will go back and forth between the presentations and the course that we currently offer at TLT to show you some of the features and how we integrated them into the course. We will also analyze and reflect on the current executive functioning support in our design and teaching practice. And finally, I hope we will have opportunity to collaborate with peers to brainstorm possible modifications to your own courses and to provide greater support for executive functioning. So let's start. Before we begin, I want to talk about what are the essential executive functioning skills are. Well, first of all, executive functioning and self-regulation skills are the mental processes that enable us to plan, focus attention, and remember instructions, and juggle multiple tasks successfully. So basically, it's those everyday skills that we use to go through our day tasks, to accomplish goals that we set out for ourselves. So they're very, very important, not only in academic area, but also in our everyday life. So there's three different areas of executive functioning. Working memory is ability to keep information and then use it in some way. So just basically get something new into our brains and be able to hold on to that information until we need to use it. Also, cognitive flexibility is ability to think about something in a more than one way, being able to look at the problem from different points of view to find the right solution. So being able to change our plans or our goals and kind of being able to adapt to the current reality. Very, very important area. So we're talking about three areas of executive function. So working memory, cognitive flexibility, and inhibitory control. What does it mean? It means that we are able to ignore certain distractions and resist temptation to do something. But we also call it like exercise self-control. So all three areas are very important. And what we want to do in our courses, we want to make sure that we provide enough support for our students, not only do well in our academic area, but also provide them with support to practice this area of functioning skills so they are better prepared to move forward. Let's talk about executive functioning skills as a set of skills needed to be independent in all areas of our lives. So executive functioning can help us to accomplish things on everyday basis. Let's take a look at some of other parts of executive functioning. Let's start with working memory right here, the yellow portion of this chart. So as I mentioned previously, working memory is help us to keep key information in mind until we need to use it. And usually we can keep in mind from 3 to 7 things at the same time. For example, you can remember the telephone number until you have to have an opportunity to write it down or until you can dial it. Or you can remember maybe 3 things that somebody mentioned to you in the conversation. So working memory is just like a quick, short way to remember something, and then we're gonna work with that and move it into long-term memory. Okay, self-monitoring is self-awareness and how one is doing in the moment. Like, am I performing well? Am I achieving my goals? Am I need to adjust what I'm doing in order to accomplish something? Planning and prioritizing our tasks. So we have to set the goals, we have to plan our day or our session, and also decide what we need to work on first, what can wait, and things like that, what can we adjust. Task initiation. Sometimes students or people in general have difficulty to start something because it might seem, oh, it's a lot to do, or it's so overwhelming. So task initiation is another area of executive functioning. And finally, organization. Keep track of things that you physically or mentally need to do, or where you place things, or what you have to, where you have to find certain piece of information or physical item. So it's how you can organize your space, your time, your priorities. Impulse control. It's think before acting. Ah, yes. So often we wish, like, okay, I wish I hadn't done that, or I wish I hadn't, I didn't say that, or say just the right thing at the right time. So impulse control is that area of, again, executive functioning. And emotional control. Keep feelings in check. How do I feel about it? What am I really feeling? Am I angry? Am I upset? Am I calm? What do I need to do to calm myself down? So being aware of that emotion area is also part of executive functioning. And finally, my favorite, flexible thinking, ability to adjust behavior to unexpected changes. We all experience things that we need to change, we need to readjust. Maybe something didn't work out, something happened and we need to change. Well, look at our current situation with COVID-19, and we have to adjust what we're doing in our courses, we have to adjust in our work schedule, we have to adjust how we're gonna complete and accomplish our goals. So all of that require, again, executive functioning. So you see, just a quick conversation, quick listing these areas shows you how important executive functioning is in all areas of life. So let's talk about executive function in college classroom and why we really care. I would love to hear your thoughts about your experience with students in executive functioning, experience in your classrooms, or what professors sharing with you. Do your students have difficulty to manage time, or pay attention, or switch focus from one thing to another, plan or organize their tasks and priorities, remember details about assignments, or avoid saying or doing the wrong things in class? Do they manage things well enough to complete the task that you assign to them? And why do we care about this executive functioning in the classroom? If you please take a minute and just share your thoughts in the chat, I would really appreciate that. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go to my chat room so I can actually see you. Okay, people saying hello to me, and hello to you back, and I'm happy to see you all here. So please share your thoughts. I know it's hard to participate in online presentation than in face-to-face, and that's one of those things that, again, we have to use our executive function and adjust. So if you could please share your thoughts. If you have experienced difficulty with any of those areas of executive functioning that we just discussed in your classroom, I would really appreciate that. I'm gonna give it like 90 seconds, see if we can have some responses, and I would be very happy to read them out loud so we all get to hear them. Okay, I have some comments starts coming in. So Diane shares with us that planning and organizing is clearly a struggle for many students. Procrastination. Absolutely, Diane. As being a teacher myself, in on different levels, from K through 12 to community college to four-year college, face-to-face and online, I definitely can relate to that, and also agree that helping our students to plan and organize and help them to initiate their tasks is a big challenge, and it's a challenge for students, which means it's our challenge, and it means that we have to provide enough support. And Danielle also comments that time management with online courses is a struggle too. Absolutely. Just changing the mode how we teach online or face-to-face does not really change the challenge for students with executive functioning. I appreciate your comments, and we're going to move on just for the sake of time, but we will have another opportunity to participate a little bit further. So what can we do to help our students to manage better, and how can we support this functioning? Because we really should care, not only for them to successfully complete the course you're currently teaching, but also to provide students with opportunity to practice these functions, because they are clearly very, very important throughout the life, throughout the next steps in their careers and in their lives, not only in the classroom. So what can we do? And I took an opportunity to kind of combine quality matter, QM standards, with this idea how we can support EF in our courses. So what are quality matters, and why do we turn to that? Because quality matters standards, they're created by this organization QM to help course developers, teachers, faculty, or entire organization. And the most important, they develop to support students. Those are best practices that were kind of recorded, worked out, researched, and put in one place, and simply stated that we can take as a guide while we creating our courses, or helping to create courses to our professors that we work with. So using QM standards help educators to integrate executive functioning support into many areas of college course. So it becomes a little bit simpler to actually accomplish and integrate those supports into our courses. So we're gonna go through each standard one by one, and kind of take an overview of how we can use that, use the standards to support executive functioning. And then I will go to our course that we teach right now at TLT to show you how we did that. For example, standard one, course overview and introduction. The overall design of the course should be made clear to learner at the beginning of the course. So that means that when students log into your course online or to your LMS, even if you teach face-to-face but use LMS as a supportive site, they should be able easily identify where to go, where to start, what they require to do to begin successfully. And second standard is learning objectives that should be stated very clearly. They should describe what learner will be able to do upon completion of the course. So those are very straightforward, standard one and standard two. Let's take a look at the website that we are using here in our course to show you what I mean. Okay, now I just have to pull out the correct tab, and here it is. So this is our course that currently we offer at TLT for anybody who actually like to take it. And this is course as part of our teaching certificate course, and it's called Universal Design and Accessibility in Online Education. So this is our homepage, and look how we designed it to make it straightforward for our users. Well, we listed our objective right here on the first homepage, first page, as soon as they come in. We use students to navigate through that, so they know where to get started. This is the link, will take them there. I'll show it to you right here. So they have, we have course essential for them. We have modules laid out in a very same way, very structured, so it's pretty easy to follow. They also can go to course essentials, they go straight to syllabus, and they go straight to modules. And they can also see what they required to start the course. So it's very easy to navigate, and that's the whole point. And that's how we help our students to really go through the beginning of the course, and how this general standard 1 and 2 are integrated. And that's for them. They don't have to wonder where to go, what to do. They can go straight to the first thing they must accomplish in order to proceed. Next QM standards is assessment and measurement. And assessment are integral to all learning process, and all designed to evaluate learning progress in achieving the stated learning objective or mastering the competencies. Same idea. Assessment should be really taking into consideration all of these areas of executive functioning and what we are going to do. So we are I would love to again show to you how we did that in this course. Let's just go through some of the example and how we're addressing different areas of EF in this course. For example, flexible thinking. What does it mean to us? It means that we will create differentiated project and provide choices based on students' experiences. If you participated today in and listened section of our our keynote speaker, you probably remember that Scott identified that how important it's really to base our learning on the student experience and the students' desire for the deeper learning, and really offer them that opportunity in your courses. And that's exactly what we strive for in our course. Let's take a look at example. So in this example, it took me to different website. It's okay. We're gonna just go back to something I already have open. It's right here. So we're going to go to the modules, and we're going to start with module 1. And for this example, I would like to share with you our first assignment and how we're really handling it to provide that differentiation. For our first assignment, actually for our major assignment of this course, we are using assignment where students will be able to create their unit of study or module or part of their course. And so that means that they can choose any content. If they teach chemistry, or they teach music, or they teach pedagogy, it doesn't matter. They can choose the module or assignment that they will be working on. And this is what we ask them to do. So providing that opportunity for choices and differentiation is a very important part. Let's take a look at self-monitoring. We offer a forum of questions, checklists, rubrics, reflections, and ask to self-grade. So again, let me just go for the example here and show it to you one more time how we're trying to accomplish that in this course. So in this case, we are going to module 2, and we ask students to reflect on their selection, reflect what kind of discuss experience of online access barrier and some steps that they might lower this barrier. So we ask students to kind of share their thought process and provide their reflections, how they evaluate their current courses, how they're going to make some changes to make it more accessible and more universal for their students. So this is very important that students have this opportunity and have this guide to reflect on what they're doing, how they're learning, and how they're going to implement what they learn in their practice. Another part of EF is planning and setting priorities. So again, developing timelines, issuing reminders, like maybe post announcements or send the course email, those kind of simple things that we as instructors can do and integrate into the courses and help students to plan their time, plan their priorities, set their goals for today, for tomorrow, for the course overall. Again, here's our example that we just did, and that's showing you like one of them is showing the project timeline, because this is very short course. It's only 5-week course. We describe very specifically what and when needs to be done. This is where they're going to select their module, select their topic, select their content, select their unit, and this is we're explaining when it would be due. The next module, they have to reflect on the barriers that they see in their course and how they're going to make the changes. For the module 3, for this due date, they will complete certain parts. They will complete their planning guide and explain what they're planning to do and how they're going to incorporate UDL checkpoints in their lessons. And for the next one, they will complete their 3 artifacts and submit them, before and after screenshots and video demonstrations. And finally, they will submit their final product, their complete unit or lesson with multimedia, and provide us their resource and share it with each other. So this way, students see very clear timeline and they see when things are due. It's a visual timeline that helps them to plan and set their priorities. We're also using function as a communicating with the course and individual people by office hours and by posting announcements and issuing a variety of reminders to make sure that they are on task and on time. Also, when we talk about task initiation, and that becomes one of the difficult part for students, because sometimes projects seems to be just too overwhelming. They don't know where to start. They don't even know what to ask. So they keep postponing it and pushing it away. And as a result, missing important deadlines and then not submitting as good of the product as they possibly could. So what can we do to make that situation a little bit easier? How can we support our students? Well, ask students submit their project in stages. Divide your assignments into smaller parts. Just ask them maybe to choose the topic and submit it to you immediately. And sometimes professors are very kind of hesitant to do that because they say, well, I don't have time to grade all of these parts. And you don't have to grade all of these parts, but just provide the opportunity for students to complete the part and maybe submit. All you can do is just grade it as complete and incomplete. It's very straightforward. You don't even have to comment on everything, but just looking through completion or incompletion in one line on the grade book help you to see if people already start working on the project or not. And you can maybe email to a couple of students who may be falling behind, so start right from the beginning and provide them that individual support. You can also offer students the opportunity to brainstorm and discuss project in groups or just with one partner. Again, your involvement would be very minimal, but again, you will be clearly seeing what's going on. And by working together, just even with one partner, by at least exchanging a couple of ideas online, students have that support to start, to initiate the task. And it doesn't look so overwhelming when all you have to do is just take a look at the assignment and maybe post something if you understand it or not, or if you have any questions, or if you already have an idea how to start. So these smaller steps will help students to start work on this project. Organization, and this is one of my favorite because my background is also in special education, and I'm always aware of some students who struggle with the process of their work. So using graphical organizers is a great way to help all types of learners who do well visually. Maybe they do better visually than they do audibly. So graphical organizers is a great way to help you. And as I showed you that timeline and just one example, you can also provide the feedback for an outline, help students to create outline. That's their way of thinking graphically and organizing their thought. And you also organize a resource for them to kind of help them to visualize where to go and what they need to do. So again, we discussed emotional impulse control, review exam taking strategies, help them to not be fearful of exams by reminding them how to take exams, offer the second chance, or sometimes alternatives, offer them alternative ways to assess. Every single course doesn't have to have an exam. Offer them opportunity to express what they learn and demonstrate what they accomplish in their course in different ways. Maybe it will be a paper, maybe it will be a video clip, maybe it will be creating infographic, maybe it will be developing a website, developing a webcast. There's so many ways for students to show you what they've learned. So help them, provide them those alternative ways, and help them to do their absolutely best. And emotional control, again, another important area of executive functioning. I'm coming back to the same kind of idea. Offer choices. Help your learners to be in charge of what they're learning, not only of the content, what they're learning, but also of the process, how they're going to learn that. Give them the choices. Be flexible yourself. Show that flexible ability to think flexibly. Be flexible in thinking and assessing and supporting your students. And then students will be able to take the ownership of what they learn, of how they learn, They will be able to be relevant to their life and to their passion for the topic, and you will help them to make the connections to their real life. And that's how learning in your course really becomes meaningful to them. It's not just content that is pushed on them, but it's actually content that they're choosing to learn, and that they also choosing how to learn. So assessment, what changes can you make in your courses or teaching practices to support executive functioning skills? I mentioned a few different possibilities, but again, looking through this list or checklist of flexible thinking, working memory, self-monitoring, planning, task initiation, organization, impulse control, and emotional control, I would love to see you sharing just a couple of sentences. What changes can you do? Or what, if you think about a particular course, I would love to see some specifics. For example, if you're teaching biology and you had your exam, and now you can think, well, instead of midterm, I can maybe do this. I would love to see some of the examples. So if you don't mind, I'm coming back to our chat room, and I would love to see if you can share with us your thoughts. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds here in the chat room. Again, I put my slide here so you can see that what we are considering, what kind of areas of EF we're considering, and how can we support them in assessment in our own courses or courses that you're helping to design or support. Okay, Diane shared with us that I would like to try reflective journal, asking how they managed this week's work, what went well, and how can they improve. Yes, absolutely. I think reflection is a huge part of teaching and huge part of learning, because if we don't really own the process, if we don't really identify what is important and how are we doing in this process, it's really hard to manage your learning, to really feel that you're accomplishing. So I think reflective journal and opportunity to provide students to kind of connect it to themselves is a very good way to make these changes. And Brian has also shared with us that the QM standards differ for synchronous and asynchronous courses. Can you point us to additional QM resources? Brian, thank you for excellent question. No, there's no different standards for synchronous or asynchronous. QM is basically focused on pretty much online learning. However, it's can apply to synchronous or asynchronous courses. It's really just best practices, and the best way to learn more about QM is to go to qm.org website and take a look at the resources. You can also join and participate to become a QM member, and you will have an opportunity to take a lot of different courses and webinars that they offer. You can get certificate to become more knowledgeable about this framework, and also you can listen to even free webinars that they often offer. Okay, we're going to move on. I really sincerely appreciate all the participants who are willing to participate through chat. I know it's not the same as standing up and talking. All right, general standard number 4, instructional materials. Instructional materials enable learners to achieve stated learning objectives and competencies. I have a hard time with that word. Okay, let's take a look at example in our course. And we ask them to use different type of materials, different type of resources in this course. And for example, this is in module 2, activity where we ask our students to use simulation check-in. And simulations are a great way for them to learn how others may experience their courses. For example, we ask them to take a look at color blindness simulator, at vision simulator, meaning that how the person with visual impairments will view their course, and they will probably find some areas for improvement. We also ask them to take a look at poorly formatted reading page and ask them how to fix that, to make it clear and easy to understand. So we offer them a variety of resources, and again, that's help them to experience what others may experience in their courses, and this helps them to make changes, meaningful changes for that particular course, and therefore supporting executive functioning. So applying QM standards to support executive functioning, we're coming to standard 5. And I apologize, we're kind of rushing through because there's a lot of standards and a lot of examples. And I know I talk much faster than I normally would, but I hope you can bear with me. So general standards 5 listed as learning activities and learner interaction. Learning activities facilitate and support learner interaction and engagement. This is so important. And once again, we integrate different types of opportunities for learning activities and interaction. Again, thinking about different type of executive functioning areas. Right here, I outlined them in this yellow box. I hope it's easy for you to see. Think about what you can change, what you can adjust, what you can improve a little bit in your own course. What can you add? What can you make? What can you different? Share some examples, or maybe you're already doing something fabulous in that area. Please share with us, and I will be very happy to read your examples. As you're writing that, I'm going to just share some of the things that you could do, again, to provide that opportunity and support your learners. Of course, learner interaction, collaborative work, engaging student in active learning is very, very important. By active learning, I mean not just reading the content, not just listening to the content, not just absorbing, by actually becoming a producer, by actually becoming a participant in this and creating a certain content and working with that content that you provide them. For example, if it's just reading, it's not enough to offer them opportunity to read something passively. Throw in a little activity. Have them answer questions. Have them summarize the major concept. Have them pose the question to their classmate. Have them to create very simple infographic work, like maybe just put image that they have associated with this main concept. So have them do something, work on this particular activity. Again, standard 5, asking us to provide them additional activities and support learner interaction and engagement. Offer a variety of active ways. I just talked about that, not just read or watch video, ask students to do all of these things, and offer a variety of work with peers. Make the small group work, make the peer review, discussions, collaborative project. All of that is really helpful for students to be actively engaged in your content. And right here, this is just, again, example of what we offer. In that case, we have discussions integrated, we have activities integrated in this course. I'm gonna move a little bit faster forward so we don't run out of time in the middle. So QM standards number 6, course technology. Course technologies support learner achievement and course objective and competencies. Again, how do you use technology to support your executive function? I already shared with you some of the things that we do in the course. We share different simulation websites. We also offer different websites and resources how students can adjust their courses. We discuss integrated apps in LMS. You can use a variety of apps that are available integrated in Canvas, and also use outside resources. For example, you can use PlayPosit to break up your discussions, your video with the questions and different activities. You can use Kaltura to create your own video. And by the way, to make learning active, you can ask your students to create a short Kaltura video, even in your discussion forum, or as a part of their assignment, or a part of their reflection. Have them to produce something. You can also include a variety of other resources. For example, if you just start working with Canvas and you are not certain what is integrated and what you can do, you can open any assignment and take a look right here in Canvas, what kind of different type of online learning apps you can use. For example, you can go to any assignment and select internal tools and just click on find, and you can take a look at these wonderful resources that are integrated with Canvas that you can integrate for your learning activities, and see if there's something that you probably weren't aware of. For example, we have this new resource. We just integrated with Canvas. It's called Hypothesis, which means that student can annotate the reading, and instead of reading it quietly by themselves, you can make it into social experience and active learning activity. All right, let's continue. And again, if you have excellent example of how you're using technology and you can put it in the chat, please do so. I will go back there and I will very happily read that to everybody.
We have about 5 minutes left.
Very good. We are at the standard 7. This course facilitates learner access to institutional support services essential to learner success. Again, just make sure that in your courses, you always provide information about support services that students need to do very well in your course. Make sure that your syllabus include them. Make sure that your website include them as well. And last but not least, and accessibility and usability. This is standard number 8, and that directly related to the supporting EF in the course. The course design reflects a commitment to accessibility and usability for all learners. And just as a reminder, it's calling us to the principles of universal design for learning, and I noticed that we have a lot of presentation on that topic today. So these are main principles of UDL: multiple means of representation, show it more than in one modality. That means you provide the text, provide the video, provide the audio, provide the transcript. So offer various ways for students to absorb what you are sharing with them. Multiple means of action and expression. Give them that freedom of choice, how they're going to demonstrate what they learn. Allow them to write, to speak, to video, to tape a video, and a variety of ways to express themselves. And multiple means of engagement, have them to work with material and in different ways. And again, this is very important to make your course very engaging and inclusive. And again, by supporting those executive functioning in every step and every stage of your course, you will make sure that your students are successful and you will help them. I know this was a very quick overview, but I hope I sparked your interest in UDL, in QM, and EF. So if you need any more information, please research that. Please go to cast.org for UDL. Please go to QM for more information on QM standards. And of course, I will be very happy if you can contact TLT team of instructional designers. I know we would love to work with you and help you with that. You can also contact me directly. This is my information, kouraeva@dux.rutgers.edu, and I will be also very happy to work with you on your courses. I'm gonna go back to my chat room to see if I have any comments. No, Brian was the last one with his thank you. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate your attention. And I hope that you find this information useful. Also, very fast one, but I hope you will take your time to research further and contact your TLT instructional design team for more information, and we will be very glad to work with you. Thank you so much for your time and for your attention. Have a wonderful, productive day at our conference, and please stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalia, so much.